Hey Laura, hey Kyle, what's going on? How y'all doing? Hey Gold, welcome, welcome. Emily L, hello. Yeah, I just got done watching Tribe, Just Josh, and Native talk about this pipeline deal, and I wasn't finished talking about it, so I figured I'd go live and see if anybody wanted to come talk some more about it because it's kind of a weird, iffy, confusing, maybe not situation that could either just disappear in the morning or could blow up. So it's you received a summons. That's good, Emily. Yeah, my watch hours, Laura, are at 2,400, so they're going really good. I'm on track to hit the 4,000 mark by the end of the month, hopefully, without much issue. I definitely want to try to get to the 4,000 mark before the end of the month to unlock all these new cool little things I can do. So yeah, if you guys are bored, go to my channel, click on my master playlist, and it's every single video I've ever posted. I mean, you can just hit play and turn the volume down. Don't mute it. I heard that if you mute it, it doesn't count. But turn your volume down and take a nap, going about your day or whatever. I'd certainly appreciate you helping me get those watch hours because they are apparently very, very important. And YouTube is going to supposedly change some things about your watch hour requirements in the future and make it harder to unlock all those cool tools that they keep hidden away from us. Hey, Fish Sticks, what's going on? Rena LaRue, hello there. Kyle says let me go ahead and let everybody see it here. Kyle says the part that makes me think it could be an issue is that the MSM isn't reporting on it. A gas shutdown like the Texas grid outage fits their green agenda. Yeah, it does. Plus, here's the thing too. I'm not a pipeline engineer. I don't claim to know everything about anything, but I do know this. If nothing more than for safety protocol, every single junction that pipeline runs through, and probably every certain amount of feet or miles, they've got these great big ass wheels that you can turn. They'll make the shit run or make the stuff stop. Okay. I mean, so common sense, 1 + 1 is 2, simply tells me that if the computers ain't working, fine, unplug them and send somebody out there to turn them damn valves and get the oil flowing. It's a pretty simple fix if you look at it from a redneck point of view. I mean, pipelines were working before we had computers. Okay, so I mean, if they're designing a system that the only way it can function is under computer control, that's probably the stupidest business model I have ever heard of in my life. So I think there's more to it than that. Hey, Roll Prepper, how you doing? Welcome to the room. Stanley, welcome. Yeah, I was over there on their live stream, and they cut it short, and I just kind of wanted to see if you guys want to talk about it some more because it's a very interesting situation. I mean, it's interesting for a number of different reasons. It could be nothing. We could wake up tomorrow and the gas prices are the same, and they get their computers turned back on and it's all good. Or it could seriously get blown out of proportion. Yeah, the manual override, that's what I was talking about. But like, here's the thing that gets me. If I'm a computer guy, especially right now, this very day and time. Hey, Shane, how you doing? Patriot Sandwich Maker, welcome. If I'm a computer guy and my whole deal is to, do this ransomware, whatever they're talking about. Jim Cope, how you doing? Welcome. Hey, Sheila. Why in the hell would I want to hold an oil pipeline ransom when I could just maybe hack into whoever's running this digital currency stuff, the Dogecoin and the Bitcoin and all that. That would be that would be the computer I would want to hack. I mean, you got billions of dollars at your disposal. I would hack that, okay? And if you got a multi-billion-dollar pipeline that supplies half the country with their fuel oil, their heating oil, the stuff they run their cars on, why would you not have upgraded your computer system to like not be hacked by some jackass in the middle of the woods with a laptop? I mean, it's the numbers just don't add up. This is either it's something's missing in this whole thing. Either we're not getting the whole truth, or it's just more showboating, and there's something to it. We just don't know what it is yet. It could be a test drive. That's what I would think. I mean, it could be a test drive to maybe strike a bigger target, later on down the road. Who knows? COVID-19 SARS-2, how you doing? Welcome to the room. I'm gonna go ahead and post a link if anybody wants to come up here and chat face. That would be awesome. I get lonely. Tennessee Tactical, what's going on? Bug Dude. There's a link if anybody wants to come up here. Yeah, you're right, Patriot Sandwich Maker. That back in February with the water system, that could have been a test drive for this issue that we're dealing with right now, for all we know. That's the whole point of me saying, nobody really knows what's going on, because we really don't. Hello, Christy. How you doing? Buttercup, Princess Buttercup, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. The Outsider, what's going on? You know what? I'm gonna send Backwoods a text, see if he's still awake. He usually takes Sundays off, but maybe he's out, having a drink in the barn. We'll see if he wants to come on here and chat with us. He may be tired. I mean, we've done like 18 hours of lives this week. Stephanie Joe, welcome. Let's see, where's he at? Where is he at? I know he's in there somewhere. Backwoods, there he is. Sunshine, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, I know, right? Bug Dude, yeah. Get the water in Florida, the power in Texas, and now the gas. They could be testing things out, it's it could be part of the machine. It could be legit. Some jackass with a laptop just decided to do a ransom thing on the pipeline, because those cats got money. I mean, come on, it's this gas. Hey, Demeter, how you doing? Thank you, Secret Prepper. I hope everybody had a happy Mother's Day. So nobody wants to come up here? Yeah, Princess Buttercup got a pipeline attack. It's been going on for a couple, 3 days now. It hadn't really affected the gas prices too much yet. That will take place tomorrow when the stock market opens up and they do the whole gas futures and this and that and the other. It'll, if they don't get it fixed, like even if they fix it right now, they're still 2 days behind on supplying fuel. So there's going to be a lag. So there will be some shortages in a few places. And it's going to affect the prices. Obviously, I mean, they're not going to miss an opportunity to make money. Sunshine, I am a newish prepper. Only started in the last year. There's nothing wrong with that. Sunshine, go at it full bore. Do what you got to do. Water, food, security. Bing, bing, bing. Stephanie Joe Roundtree says her kids sent her booze and bullets. That's an awesome gift for Mother's Day. All right, so who wants to come up here? I'll keep posting the link until somebody gets up here. Go ahead and get your makeup done. Come on up. Come on up here. Well, if nobody wants to come up here with me, then somebody start asking me some questions. It doesn't have to be about the pipeline. It can be prepping. You know, it can be something. I mean, we got 42 people in here. That's a lot of brain power. Hello, Stanley. Welcome to the room. Kyle, Miguel, what's going on? Carmen Gizzy, good evening. Now, here's the thing, you know, if this thing drags out, or say this worst case scenario, it's a test drive, and then say maybe they do it again at the end of October, maybe the middle of November or the beginning of December during the winter months, and those pipelines are the ones that run the heating oil as well as you know, fuel for your vehicle. So then all of a sudden, you know, half the country's going to, you know, unless they have an alternate heating source, you're talking about going into the winter low on food because they didn't prep, and now they don't have any heat. That could be bad. Yeah, Carmen, I did hear somebody say something. There was a state of emergency, but I haven't heard anything about that. Let's see what we got here. Thought I saw a question. Yep, there we go. Tennessee Tactical. Ghost Prepper, do you see this causing havoc within the next few days and lasting a few weeks as far as the gasoline? Yeah, Tennessee, I can see that legitimately happening if they can't fix the problem. But if that's the case, then you know you can smell the bullshit in the air. All right. I mean, all right. So somebody hacked into a system. All right. I mean, hell, Bill Gates lives here in this country. That jackass that supposedly started Facebook lives here in this country. Those are computer geniuses. So whatever he's doing, there's an operating system they have access to. They can get in there and fix this stuff. You know what I mean? So if it stretches on for more than a few days just to jack up gas prices, I'm calling bullshit on the entire infrastructure part of it, because it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to run a multi-billion-dollar operation pumping gas to half the country and not have some kind of cybersecurity to be able to either ward this stuff off or have a backup plan. I mean, why would you not have a complete backup operating system where you can just completely, you know, have a firewall set up where you can just unplug that entire server system, that entire operating system, plug in a brand new one, a backup, and go back to work? I mean, I bet these idiots haven't even done, you know, what us rednecks do, and that's just turn the computer off and turn it back on again and let it reboot. It might work. Independent Mary, I can't really comment on what I suggest for a bug out shelter because I don't plan on bugging out. You know, obviously if you're bugging out, you want it to be on a piece of land. You want it to be defensible. You'd want to have access to clean, fresh running water and a food supply and a way to keep everything secure. Yeah, Princess Buttercup. Yeah, you wanted to sleep and now you got to get gas. I hear you. There you go, Demeter. Start doing some canning. Yeah, if it lasts more than 5 days, it's going to get ugly in some places. EAMT, welcome. Bug dude, if it keeps getting, they're going to send trucks from. Oh yeah, yeah, bug dude. They could always do the whole truck it all, but that's, man, you want to talk about your prices going up. Yeah, you'll be looking at $10 a gallon of gas, within 2 weeks if they start having to truck this stuff across country. Hey, what's going on, Phoenix? How you doing? All right, let's see what we got here. Independent Mary, Ghost. I'm newer to prepping. Can you name the top items I should get right now, or do you have a video already about this? Yeah, I've got quite a few videos. Back when I first started my channel a couple months ago, I did a couple of videos dedicated to new or first-time preppers. But I can pretty much tell you the basics right now. The first thing, number one priority is water. Water, water, water. You need a clean, accessible water supply, or you need good water storage. I would suggest a rainwater catchment system. Then food, shelf stable, long-term food, rice, beans, dried. You can cook them and can them, or you can store them in Mylar, but then you're really going to have water, because you're going to need water to prepare the dried beans and the rice. That's why I'm a big fan of go ahead and canning it, where you can just eat it right out of the jar. Water first, then food, then a way to keep everything safe and secure wherever you're at. But yeah, water, food. If you're brand new to it, that's your two. The first two things you should do is water and food. Yeah, Phoenix, I did too. We all thought we were the most powerful nation in the world. Technically, we are. Right now, the media has all the power. So read between the lines on that one. Hello, Christy. Welcome to the room. COVID, you were naughty today. You didn't prep anything. How dare you? Agreed, Jim Cope. Whoops, what happened? Where'd I go? Russians, yeah, of course they're going to blame it on the Russians. They always do. It's a Russian-speaking group. It's a good idea, Independent Mary. Stanley Laddie said, Ghost, the company said the reason shut it all down was that they were not sure how deep the hack had gone. Shut down until they know. So they may not even have control of the pipeline. The company just shut the damn thing down, which is just weird. Yeah, I agree with you, Secret Prepper. Jack those prices up throughout the summer, make all that money, and then go into the winter. Mildred Morgan, I mean, the power grid's always an obvious target because it is weak and it's easily messed up. So, I mean, yeah, I could see that potentially happening. Stephanie's got a good point. Especially as preppers, you need to go ahead and get prepared to get down and dirty like our grandparents did it. If you don't know how to garden, learn. If you don't know how to can food, learn. Okay. Rose Young said her son checked into the pipeline and it sounded like they fixed the situation. That'd be good. But here's the thing, even if they fixed it, with it being down for 3 days, it's still going to affect gas prices on the East Coast probably for months. Not a problem, Independent Mary. Just go to my channel and look at all the videos you want to look at. And I mean, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave me a comment or shoot me an email, and I'll get to it as quickly as possible. I try to answer every single comment and every single email as fast as I can. Did I see Backwoods in here? There's a link, Backwoods, if you want to come on in. Yeah, I hear a lot of that's been going around there, COVID SARS. Hey, we got company.
What's up, man? Hang on, give me a second here.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that's been going around there, COVID SARS. Hey, we got company.
What's up, man? Hang on. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that's been going around there, COVID SARS. Hey, we got company.
Hang on, man. It's me. Hang on. Sorry. I've been lazy all day. So
Yeah, you and me both. Yeah, I was on with Tribe and Just Josh and Native Voice did a live stream about this pipeline thing, and I was like, shit, they got me all riled up. So I was like, hell, there was like 100 people in their room that wanted to keep talking. I'm like, well, shit, I'll go live. We can keep talking about it, or whatever you want to talk about. The pipeline deal is what we were discussing, and mostly discussing now, because I just feel like there's a whole lot to that story that we ain't being told. I mean, it could be nothing. We may wake up tomorrow and everything's working just fine. It could go for weeks or days.
hey, what's up, everybody? COVID, Bug, Shane, how y'all doing? Carmen, everybody, how y'all doing? I've been lazy all day. It's been kind of raining off and on, storming off and on, and just wind blowing pretty hard. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be lazy, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I did today. Exactly. I did do a little bit.
I had something. It was smeared on my camera. I could see it. It's weird.
Went and found me. Got 3 more cases of jars today. I'm gonna find something that can. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is butter, and I'm gonna do my cheese. I got my cheese wax and my cheesecloth in, so I'm gonna go ahead and wax my cheese and put up some ghee.
Hell yeah. What's up, the outsider? Yeah, I was in there being lazy. That old boy wants me to go to work with him again tomorrow and do some. He said he's got some place that I don't know. It's a big area that needs weed eating. He said it's all weed eating, and he's like it'll be about 3 hours. I was like, hell yeah, I'll go.
Hell yeah. Hey, Vince, yeah, we were tired and we still ended up over on Dangerous's live. That's
he
how
got
we
shut
roll.
down. He got shut down. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There for that.
Yeah, like straight up, we're just sitting there talking, and I was actually was talking about the chickens, man, and all of a sudden it just bam, it was gone. And like not only was the stream ended, but it was gone. And I was like, what the hell? And then about that time he was like, well, I just got a strike.
Did they say for what?
Yeah, because I guess earlier in the live stream somebody was we got to talking about guns, and somebody said something about, man, you need to keep them close to you these days and dangerous. You know, he raised his up, and Moose Man raised his up, and I was like, well, hell, I got mine right here too, you know. And but it was about an hour later, but they said it was a community guideline strike for something about, you know, the showing guns or something is what it said.
It's weird
But it was
because he
like an
does
hour later.
yeah, and he does that every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
So
kind of had a
I
feeling that was that's why I never do that. You know, I mean, I kind of had a feeling that was going to come up down the road eventually. You know, I mean, they're for everything else. I think that was eventually going to happen.
yeah, I ain't going. I mean, they're, you know, it's one of them deals. They don't seem to be. They don't seem to really mess with. Like if you make a video shooting a gun, but it's like on a live stream if you show it. You know, I don't know what it is, man.
Well,
It's
I mean,
weird.
just waving it around on camera. I mean, you can almost take that as communicating a threat, you know, to a liberal. You know, I mean, they kind of reach really, really far. If you're basically brandishing a weapon without a clear intent to shoot at a paper target downrange. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I could see him digging into that. I mean, because you're out in public doing it, you would get nailed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was. I don't know.
It's one of the reasons why our channel does so good. Because I'm like, you know what? Let's just talk about prep and let's stay away from all that stuff that can get us in trouble and all the drama.
Hey, Susanna, what's going on? Yeah, that's me too. I told my wife about it. I was like, yeah, I said, I just soon,
There you
me
go.
and
Gordon
Ghost.
Tunes says, I think the guidelines say you can only show them if you are teaching something about them. That makes sense because then you're not basically brandishing it with no clear purpose. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's just weird that, how I can, you know, like I said, I've got some shooting videos, and there's shooting videos all over the internet, and they don't seem to do anything at all.
Yeah. I mean, but if you have a purpose, you know, to showing off the weapon, like how it works, how to do a functions check, how to clean it, how to zero your weapon in, you know, how to shoot, move, and communicate through contact. That's all purpose-driven stuff that has nothing to do with just sitting on camera, you know, brandishing your weapon.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean, either way, it's kind of silly. I mean, but I mean, it is what it is. We don't own YouTube. It's their platform. It's here for us to use, and there are guidelines. I mean, do I like them? No. Do I agree with them? No. But I don't own YouTube, you know, so I really have a say in it. You know what I mean?
What's up, Jopet? Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it really ain't. He should have known it was coming. I mean, he got a slap on the back of the hand, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You got a warning, you know. So that should tell you, hey, they're watching my shit, you know.
Yeah, that's right. PAEMT. Prepping aspect videos are more productive, anyways. They help to teach. Knowledge is prepping power.
Yeah, that's why we decided to format our shows around prepping. And dude, you would have tonight on Tribe's live stream with Just Josh and Native Voice. They were pumping the shit out of our shows, man. It was awesome.
Cool.
They were really putting out some love. It was awesome.
Well, I got the alert, you know, and but I was in there watching. Me and my wife was catching up on a couple of TV shows we watched that Alaska, the whatever, the Gold Rush Alaska or whatever,
yeah,
we was watching that, and the Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah, fish sticks. This is a good one. Anybody know how to? You're talking about an IBC tote. Yeah, it's a IBC tote is what those things are called, and that stands for intermediate bulk container. It depends on what was in it. If you had an organic substance in it, and you're doing it for rainwater collection or something like that, you can just put a little bit of water in there and some soap and just slosh that thing around, just roll it around your yard for a few hours, and then rinse it out real good. If it had something in there that was sitting for a while and it's kind of like caked on the sides, what I did for mine was I took my pressure washer apart because I couldn't get the handle in there with the hose. So I took it apart and I stuck the handle down in there. Then I fished the hose down in there and hooked it up while it was inside. And then I just kind of meandered my pressure washer around with one hand and blasted most of it out. And it worked pretty good.
Yeah, Dawn dishwashing liquid, because it even if you don't get all of the Dawn out of it, when you go to put it on your plants and stuff, there are people that are actually spraying some Dawn dishwashing liquid on their plants.
Yeah,
with
I use that on my plants.
Watered down, to keep the bugs away. So Dawn dishwashing liquid will work really well.
Well, I use the Dawn dishwashing liquid with the pepper juice and water, and the Dawn helps make the pepper juice stick to the plants. It's kind of like napalm. Demeter Solace Ghost, I don't have a pressure cooker for my canning. However, I have a big pot to put the jars in, and I want to do some beans this weekend. What's your advice on that? Don't do it. I mean, unless you're doing a high acid beans, if you're doing something like green beans, you can water bath can those. But the rest of those, pintos and limas, things like that, you really need a pressure cooker for those.
Now, is that what if you're just canning dry beans?
If you're just doing dry beans, I mean, you can vacuum seal those. You can oven can them, dry can them, however you want. But if you're talking about cooking them and storing them, you and now don't get me wrong, you can actually water bath can meats and those other foods. It just takes about 4 days to do it. There's an actual old process before people figured out how to pressure canners to speed it up, but it takes like forever to do it that way. And I've never done it that way. I don't plan on ever doing it that way, so I can't give you any guidance on that. You may want to have to Google it, but I would say if you don't have a pressure canner, do not attempt to water bath can things that need to be pressure canned. And if you're not sure it needs to be pressure canned, there's a website called the National Center for Home Food Preservation. It gives you instructions for everything you can possibly think of to can.
I'm gonna say Daisy Days come in here. How's it going? Gary Bulldog Prepper, what's going on?
Bug out, dude. Ghost, thoughts on pumping napalm? I don't even know if we can say that out loud on this channel, so I'm not even going to touch that one. But yeah, it probably won't work. Jim Cope, have I been demonetized? No, I've never been monetized. I'm still new to YouTube. I've only been here for a few months, since February. But I did get my notice this morning, Backwoods. I got a notification that said that congratulations on the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I got my community tab unlocked, so I can do like community postings. But
I got
monetized.
I've got 4,129 hours now.
Nice, brother. Nice. I was at before probably about 3 hours ago. I checked mine, and I was at 20. I had just crossed the 2,400 mark. So hopefully I can get there by the end of the month. And if there's any of you guys in the chat that want to hook a brother up, I've got a master playlist on my page. Just click on it, turn the volume down. Don't hit mute. If you hit mute, it doesn't count. Just turn the volume down and let it play all night, and let my awesome prepping voice just lull you to sleep while you help me gain watch hours. That would be awesome. And I'll do the same for any of you guys. Make a playlist, and I'll run it all night. I don't think you can do pintos, Karen. I know you can water bath green beans. The rest of the beans, I'm not sure. But here's my thing. Like, I pressure can my green beans. I pressure can everything just for the safety issue, just for the sterilization. And I know I've killed all the bacteria. I pressure can all of it. The only thing I don't pressure can is like my jellies and stuff.
Is it just because pressure canning gives you a higher temperature?
Yeah, that pressure canning, you get a higher temperature under pressure, and it kills like freaking everything. It's just, to me, it's just safer that way. Now you can water bath, do your your green beans and stuff like that, but I just hell, I just pressure can them.
Right. Oh, geez.
I'd rather err on the side of safety. You know what I mean? Just be a little bit more cautious.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get up in the morning and get the let out the soap and everything on my tote. One of them big totes I got. It just had a food grade peroxide in it, and I've got it all soaked down real good and I've rolled it around a couple of times, over the last couple of days. I'll roll it around, slosh it around, and it's been sitting there since yesterday morning. So it's been sitting there, and it's pretty much everything's in the bottom. So I'm gonna let that out and then wash it out real good and a couple of times, and probably should be good to go.
Yeah.
For start setting up since I only got to work about 3 hours tomorrow, I can come home and start getting the gutter system out that I've got and start getting it installed, getting it ready to start filling the tote up.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. I'm gutters at a decent price around here to set mine up. But that's like my priority right now. I'm just trying to get my rabbitry set up because I got to start breeding rabbits here in about 30 days. I got to get my second set of cages put in and get a roof over them, get them all comfy.
I got a few cinder blocks. I'll have to buy a few more. I don't have quite enough to get it up high enough that I want it,
Yeah, that's what I use for mine. I had sitting up on I think I had 4. Yeah, I think I had 4 layers of cinder blocks. Yeah, I had it jacked up to just below my gutter. I probably had maybe a foot below the gutter, enough room to get my first flush and then to fill it up because I wanted some water pressure so I could run a garden hose off of it. It worked just fine though. It's called the National Center for Home Food Preservation. National Center for Food Preservation.
I was going to say somebody asked a question about that.
I'll put it in the chat.
I need my chicken cuts. Yeah, Buck, dude, it's man, it's if you live in an area where you can capture water, I mean, I'm really ashamed of myself that I hadn't got a water catchment system set up already for myself, So we should have, I should have had that done, but and it's free water, and it's a lot better water.
Thank you very much, Sheila. Can you see this? I got your prepping voice playing me to bed right now. Appreciate that, Sheila.
Oh, golly. Most of them, I mean, it depends. Like some of them have like pickles, and they'll have whatever. I mean, I would just wash them out a little bit.
Yeah.
Something like a food grade peroxide.
Yeah. Like if you get them used and you know what was in them, then just wash them out real good. You can get them for probably $20 a piece, but you can get them brand new from Amazon. You can order them brand new delivered to your house that have never been used before, but they're I think $50 a piece.
Oh, golly, boy, I've been lazy all day. I ain't kidding.
No, you're right. Prepper tunes, they're like, I don't get crazy into the adding chemicals and shit. Just if you got good dirt and you amend your dirt, and you know, and you've got a good high quality manure, you don't really need to do all this potassium, phosphorus, all that kind of stuff, unless you're doing like hydroponics. Then you really got to pay it close attention to your and stuff like that, nitrogen. But as far as just growing in the dirt, man, just make sure you got good dirt. I'm gonna use my dirt over and over. I'm gonna amend it every year with compost and with rabbit manure, and that'll give you everything you need. But yeah, they make liquid fertilizers and stuff for your hydroponics. Then you add a certain amount after it grows. There's a growing stage, and then a flowering stage, and then a fruiting stage that you're supposed to rotate through these different. And I'm just like, dude, just good dirt, and don't even mess with that.
I'm sorry, Karen. I just, man, I've been lazy all day. I'm not gonna lie. I've been like really like laying around, napped a couple of times. I was up with Dangerous and them till daylight this morning.
Yeah, I passed out, man. I was like, no, I'm out of here. I gotta go to bed. Ghost, thank you very much. Did you get your email about the bunnies? Yes, I did. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody that's been sending in your scenarios. Backwoods, I got scenarios today from one person. I won't say that person's name yet because I don't know if they want to be out there. But dude, this female, sent me 7 emails back to back. My phone was going off. Bing, bing, bing. 7 different scenarios, all within a span of 3 minutes. So yeah, we got several months worth of work to do.
If we take water right from the rain gutters, isn't it filled with bacteria?
No, it depends on how dirty your roof is. According to the FDA, rainwater is clean and drinkable. It's once it touches something that it gets contaminated. Just run it through your Berkey.
Yeah, as long as you're, as long as your gutters are staying pretty cleaned out, if you ain't, I don't know if you had a big leaf pile up in there and it was kind of stuck in there and it was molding or something, I might be a little concerned. But if you're keeping your gutter clean, you shouldn't have no issues.
Yeah. You're not just gonna, if you want to just drink the rainwater without doing anything to it, the easiest way to do that is to, just a 55-gallon drum with some vegetable oil on top to keep the bugs out and keep the mosquitoes from laying eggs. And when you put your spigot on it, put your spigot up at least a foot high, because all your sediment and all the grit from your roof is going to settle in the bottom of the bucket. So you can still get relatively clean, drinkable water out of the top 2/3 of the 55-gallon drum, anything you're collecting it in. But you're going to want to let the grit settle to the bottom, and you're going to want to clean it pretty regularly. But I would still run it through some kind of a water filtration system, whether that be a T-shirt to pre-filter it to get the grit and stuff out, a pantyhose, whatever. Well, Bug Dude, dust in the gutters. Here's the thing: that's where flush system comes into play. So I guess you didn't catch our show last Friday when we did rainwater. First flush system is a huge 4-inch pipe, or it can be whatever size you want to make it. That for the first, say, 5 or 10 minutes of a hard rain, 2 or 3 minutes of a hard rain, the first probably 50 gallons of water that you collect is dirty, and it's diverted away from your catchment system. And there's a system with a ball that floats up and it caps it off, and then it shifts the clean water into your container. Then you just filter it and drink it. But yeah, the first system will take care of your dust.
Tennessee Tactical, the filters, the Berkey replacement filters, or it just all depends on which ones you're getting, which one, which Berkey you got. They're anywhere from like $55 all the way up to like 200 and something dollars.
Yeah, the Berkey Blacks. I think you can get a pair of them for
120.
120 bucks.
Yeah. Rainwater is distilled. It gains its impurities from atmosphere and the surface in which it's falling. Keep your system clean. You can drink rainwater unless it's nukes. Yeah, that having that first flush system on it, you know, I don't know that, like if your water's down a little bit, you know, obviously in your tote when it's going to get ready to rain, I don't know that I wouldn't go down, you know, go ahead and have that first flush system on it and go ahead and crack that thing open real good. And if it's going to rain for like an hour, I'd, you know,
Let it run.
10 minutes, let it run out onto the ground for a little bit out of your first flush system, let it run, and then turn it off, and it'll fill up pretty quickly, and then it'll start dumping pretty much clean water because it's done washed everything off the roof and out of your.
Sorry.
That's
Tina P. You can drink swimming pool water as long as it's not a saltwater swimming pool, but then you would have to distill it. But yeah, you can drink swimming pool water. Just get a bucket of it, pour it into a Berkey, and you're good to go. Everything to the Berkey, period. Yeah, Tennessee Tactical said they're 120. I thought they were right around 120 bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends. Hey, Lake Fairy, what's going on? Yeah, it just depends on which one, you know, which Berkey you got.
I think the filters are all the same size. They just have different filters. I know you got the ones that go on the bottom that are for fluoride, and they make, I think there's 3 kinds. I just use the Berkey Blacks. Okay, let's see. Ian Myers had a good question, apparently. If I can find it. I was informed by Emily to find his question. She said it was good.
I'm looking through here.
Where the hell is it?
I don't know. I'm looking too, so.
Somebody's in Russia and everything, and their things are open. He's Canadian, but he's currently in Russia. But I don't see the original question. Canada.
Y'all, I'm saying. See where it says found your channel from JW. I am a Canadian visiting Russia. Everything is open here, stores, restaurants, all. No mask, social distancing. That's as far up as it'll let me go.
Why can I not see his question? How long ago was it posted? Is it?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. I'm looking through everything. I'm trying to spread the word that other parts of the world are open. Canada locked down.
That's what she was talking about, that other parts of the world are open, but we're playing the whole lockdown game.
Uploading videos on YouTube to show.
I wonder if they're letting him show them.
There's not really a question there, but I'm seeing.
All right. Yeah, Ian Myers, Stephanie Geronti. I'm actually concerned about how draconian Canada is getting free speech is dead and everything is on lockdown. I am concerned about the jab as well. It scares me. It should. It scares me. So are you saying that, Ian, are you saying that Russia is just wide open? They're back to business as usual, and that's being kept on the quiet?
Yeah, they are, and so is China. The last I read, this article deal that I read, and like, which a lot of them wear masks over there anyway. They have for years,
Right.
but they're not social distancing. They're going business as normal. The last I read, I don't. It's been a little bit. It's probably been, I don't know. It's been a little bit since I read that article, but thinking about it, but it's still um, everything what I read. It was everything's wide open except for Canada, basically.
I mean, what are you gonna do? It's six of one, half a dozen of the other. When all this thing first started, I said it was all bullshit. It was a pandemic. It wasn't real. But and this is some news I hadn't put out there. I did tonight on Tribe Stream, but I had 3 family members come down with it about 8 weeks ago. In the hospital. One of them was in ICU for about 4 weeks. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks altogether, and he just came home a week ago. My other family member did not make it. He was in ICU, the ventilators, the whole 9 yards for a little over a month, and he just passed away 2 days ago. So for people that saying that it's not a real thing, they're fucking idiots. It's real.
Yeah, it's real. I've been saying
aren't getting all the information. It's real, but we're not getting the details. You know what I'm saying? It's a real sickness. It's really killing people, but it's not. Yeah, it's not what we've been told. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really killing people. I mean, you got the flu, it's really killing people. The COVID, it's really killing people. I mean, people don't need to, but at the same time, we've had all this other stuff that has came and went, and I mean, we have to keep on living, man. I mean,
yeah.
You got to understand, you could die tomorrow in a car wreck, man. I mean, geez, you can't. You
can't live your life in fear. You know what I mean? You gotta live your life. You gotta do what you gotta do. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. I appreciate that. And happy mothers out there.
You know what really gets me is how dangerous texting and driving is, and yet you see people doing it constantly. And the funny thing is, I seen somebody the other day texting and driving, and they had a mask on while they were driving down the road, and they were swerving all over the road and almost got head on and I'm sitting there like, I mean, come on, man, think.
Yeah.
I
think,
like, geez, man.
I think it's either South Carolina or Georgia. It's illegal to have your device in your hand when you're in your car. If you have your phone in your hand, that's like a $500 or $1,000 ticket. But to me, I think if the police and law enforcement and the government wants to really make us safe, and I know this may sound harsh, but if you want to stop people from texting and driving, first time offense, $10,000 fine, lose your license for a year. You know what I mean? Not a $50 fine, not $150 fine, 10 grand, 90 days in jail, instantly. The first time offense, $10,000 fine, 90 days in jail. No pleading it down, no deals, no nothing. Guess what? People are going to turn their fucking phone off and put it in the trunk to get in their car. Problem is solved. You know what I mean? None of this, $50 ticket. He's been ticketed before, but then he just had 6 and killed everybody. Well, you know what? If the first time you called him with his phone, texting and driving, or while he was driving, if it was a $10,000 fine and 90 days in jail, he'd never do it again, and those people still be alive. Make it harsh.
Right.
It should be.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is, is that, people are scared to death of one thing, and wearing a mask, driving down the road, and texting and driving, which is, they say when you're texting, when you're in a text messaging ongoing thing there, that you are the same as legally drunk, like
Oh,
drunk,
yeah,
like
you're
behind the
completely
wheel.
distracted. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
completely, your mind is disassociated from operating the vehicle. You're along for the ride. Yeah, I would start at 10 grand, 10,000 and 90 days in jail. Not no either or. You get both of them. $10,000 fine and 90 days in jail for everybody. First time offense. You won't do it but once, if that.
Well, it's it gets down to, I'd be willing to bet too that you could catch some of these people who will sit and fuss at you and make a big deal out of you, not wearing a face covering, and then see them driving down the road texting.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. If you don't want to wear a face mask, don't wear it. Just, just stay the fuck away from people. You know what I mean? Get, what they say, 6 feet. I don't like to be any closer than 6 feet to most people even before this shit started. So social distancing doesn't really bother me a bit. That's just normal to
Yeah.
me. I mean, when people want to get all up in my face, I want to punch them in the mouth. Back up. And it ain't got nothing to do with the pandemic. That's just me as a person in general. Stay the hell out of my area. You know what I mean? But yes, I
Right.
mean, so if you just don't want to wear the mask, hey, do what you got to do, brother. But if you're going to come into a business that's their policy, you got to respect their policy. I mean, it's just like the no shirt, no shoes, no service. Just take your business elsewhere.
So you're saying if like I live next to you and we went to Walmart, I couldn't like walk with my arm around you?
Not if people can see us.
He's like, no, not if people can see us. Shit.
It depends on how dark it is.
Right. Oh, geez, man. Some of these weeks, I'm gonna have to learn how to go to bed right after we get done streaming on
Damn,
Friday or
bro.
Saturday.
We got 70 people in here.
I know.
Wow.
That's why I mentioned the Sunday thing to you.
Might not be a bad idea. Since I've unlocked the tab for the community tab. Maybe I'll do a what do they call it? A poll, and just ask everybody, about, maybe changing the time from 10 to 8 and then doing a Sunday. What were you talking about? Like a Tuesday, Friday, Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people, and I mean, we could still do something on Saturday night, just kind of not a non-specific topic, just hang out if we wanted to, but the specific topic ones, a Tuesday, Friday, and a Sunday. And my thought process is because, it's getting to be summertime, spring, summertime, and it's daylight till 9 o'clock, man. People, during the summertime, people want to, it's their weekend off. People are going to be out and about doing things, and I don't know. I was just thinking instead of a Saturday night stream, doing a Friday and a Sunday, might be, people will tend to go out and do something on Friday night, but because they've been working all week and they worked Friday, they don't do as much. And then, they get up and do their Saturday, and, I mean, because, some of the best times, is, I mean, when you're working all week, is Saturday evening, man. You watch a movie, you grill, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Might be a good idea. I'll do a little poll. I'll do it for my subs. You do it for your subs, and we'll see what times they want us to do it at. Russia is pretty much open. Businesses, churches, schools, etc. Why are we so locked down on the West? I uploaded videos on YouTube showing this, few masks and no social distancing. Well, I mean, honestly, it's now. And I mean, it's people calling the shots here aren't. So, I mean, they're making money doing it this way. I mean, making a lot of money.
Yeah, Lake Perry, that's kind of where I was going with that, is that, she's saying I honestly will be on less as the spring and summer goes on, as we will be busy outside, out fishing, camping, hiking, things like that. And then, people have to go to work Monday morning, so they're going to come home Sunday evening. They're going to be tired. They're going to want to just sit back and relax. And, a lot of people don't like to watch TV. And so, if you got a little show, you can sit and talk about stuff. And, it might even be that we incorporate in just in that show a little bit of like a, hey, what did you do this weekend? And let's talk about
like
it. Yeah, like a review.
Like the whole week, like a review.
Yeah, and let people tell us what they did and stuff, in the chat, and kind of gives everybody, what's up, Johnny? It kind of gives everybody a chance to, hey man, I went freaking camping. We camped by the lake. We fished, man. We had a good time. We caught a bunch of fish, and had fresh fish, while we was camping, kind of thing.
I have heard that, Stephanie. I'm actually actively looking into that right now, to actually acquiring some of that. I'll be right back, Backwoods.
Emily has to go kill something, seriously. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, we were talking about last night a little bit about, somebody asked a question about firing off some rounds, or using one of them blank cartridges, that shoots a laser out for practicing. And it's really cool. You can, them airsoft rifles like I've got, when you have animals coming up that don't belong, that you want to shoo them away, but you don't really want to, you don't want to kill them, obviously. Man, you can shoot them with them airsoft rifles, and it kind of like a bee sting to them, they'll be fine. It ain't gonna kill them or anything. It won't stick in them or anything like that. It'll bounce off of them, but just kind of like a bee sting, you know what I'm saying? And it really.
Did you go top off your gas just in case this pipeline thing don't get fixed anytime soon?
Man, I ain't worried about that stuff.
Yeah, I already had all my gas done anyways.
Yeah, that little car, dude. I'm not, like, I don't never, like, I can drive from one end of my town to the other in like 6 minutes, man.
Yeah, that's what I told everybody too. Like, I have a tank of gas in the car, and it'll last me 2 months with what little bit of driving I do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, I've got over 3/4 of a tank in the little car. I've got over 3/4 of a tank in my truck, and then my wife's vehicle is full. So I mean, to me, it's, I mean, I'm not going and topping them off. We don't. I filled my truck up last week, and I went to the lake pulling the boat fishing, and it's still got a little over 3/4 of a tank. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go anywhere to, worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much just keep my vehicles topped off. I mean, I got 3 vehicles, and my truck has 2 20-gallon gas tanks. I got one on the left and the right. So that's 40 gallons right there. Both the other vehicles hold approximately 20 gallons apiece. That's 80 gallons plus all my cans. I've got over 100 gallons at any given time on my property that I rotate
Well,
through. So I ain't really got a.
that's probably pretty close. I mean, I just put all brand new gas in my boat last week, so it's got it's 6 gallons of mixed gas. So if I need to run my weed eater, but I also have two of them. You know, I use that pre-mix stuff you can get at Tractor Supply
Yeah.
because it's a better fuel for your weed eater, and so I've got some of them, and I've got 6 gallons in that. My 5 gallon gas can, I went and filled it up since it's the start of summer. I filled it up the other day, so it's full. I got another 3 gallon can over there full. I mean, I don't.
I mean, we'll know tomorrow when the sun comes up tomorrow and the stock market kicks it into gear. If the futures on gasoline go through the roof, then it's going to it'll hit the gas stations immediately, even before they realize they're not getting a truck for 2 or 3 days. They're going to jack up the prices immediately so they can maximize the profits.
Well, and if I was it, if I lived over there on the East Coast, man, I might have, went and just topped everything off just for the hell of it. But you know, that particular pipeline is for the East Coast, and
Mhm.
I mean, gas is going to go up everywhere. We already know this.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
oh yeah. I mean, I try to keep my gas topped off. The main reason is for the generator. To be honest with you, I mean, we're summertime. We just hurricane season coming on, uh, tornado season. So I try to keep. I mean, if there was no drive and I have approximately 100 gallons of gas on the property, I mean that's on average I can 3 to maybe. If I only run the Jenny for a few hours a day, I'm talking 5 gallons will last me 2 days. So
yeah, I don't.
that's a month.
I mean, and really and truly, if it gets down to where gas goes through the roof and there's a shortage, I can siphon some out of my truck, which has a big tank on it, or the little car, either one, and I can ride my four-wheeler down to the store,
Oh yeah.
for pennies. I mean, it wouldn't take much gas at all, and I've got a four-wheeler, and they don't say nothing if you ride it around in town, as long as you're not, as long as you're obeying the traffic laws and you're not
Yeah.
trying to
Well, I mean,
wheelie
out here in
and
the woods, like where we live, nobody gives a shit. I mean, hell,
yeah,
you can ride your horse up to the Circle K and tie it off to the one of the door handles and go inside and get what they don't care.
yeah,
That shit ain't
that's
in New
the way
York.
it is.
You know.
That's the way it is here. I rode it. Well, it was last summer. I I rode my four-wheeler down to the store. Just, I like to ride it once in a while, just to keep the gas flowing through it and stuff. And I rode it down to the store, and hell, there was a cop sitting at the store when I pulled up. I pulled right up there and was like, "Hey, what's going on, bud?" He's like, "Nothing." He said, "Out enjoying you a cool uh getting some fresh air or something like that." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And he was like, "Heck yeah." He goes, "Well, he said, just be safe, brother. Just be safe," is what he said. And I was like, "Appreciate it." And they don't care.
No, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people think cops get out of the bed in the morning just to go fuck with people. That they're
Yeah.
like that one guy. That they're that one kid that was picked on in middle school, and so he
Right.
decided to be a cop so he can just go be a dick 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not reality, man. That's not how it is. Now there are some dickhead cops. I'm in the middle of a lawsuit right now with the police department in Florida, because of an asshole cop. The rest of the cops are cool as shit, but there was one guy that should not be a cop.
Right.
And I'll say that to his face. I'll say it to anybody. You do not need to be a cop. You've got that little man syndrome, and it went to your freaking head. And that's going to happen. That happens in life in every type of sin. You got an asshole cashier at Walmart. You got an asshole person that works at the gas station. You got assholes in church. They're everywhere. You know, they're
Yep.
special just because they're a cop, and every single one of them is in that way. If you're a jackass when he first walks up to you, guess what? You're going to get treated that way. And now your feelings are going to get hurt because the cop was mean to you. Or you were, he has a gun. He has the ability to arrest you and put you in jail. So if he asked you to put your hands up, or may I see your ID, instead of arguing and giving him 15,000 different reasons you legally don't have to, give him your fucking ID. It's only about your business. If you just do what you're told, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to have a great, wonderful day, and you're not going to get your ass beat in handcuffs. I mean, come on, people. Let's grow up. You know, we don't need to we need to reform these kids that didn't get their ass beat coming up through school.
I think what a lot of people need to understand is that when you've got rights, you know, okay, and you got certain rights, you can stand there and you can tell the cop, "Fuck you, I ain't got to tell you a thing." You can piss off on this, you can piss off on that, and you agitate him. He gets pissed off. He ends up writing you a ticket and when he probably was going to let you go or give you a warning, and he ends up writing you a ticket. So now you got to pay that ticket, and now guess what? That cop's going to go tell his buddies, "Yeah, that dude there, I pulled him over, and he's a real prick." You know, he one of them borderline sovereign citizen kind of fellows, you know. And then every one of them that sees you do something wrong is going to pull you over. That's the way that game works.
Exactly.
So, you know,
don't be a dumbass. If the cop asks you a question, answer. If you're doing something wrong, or so against law enforcement, or you're so scared, then don't open your fucking mouth. Go ahead and take you a piece of paper and write a piece of paper. I'm not being answering questions. No, you cannot search my vehicle. I want an attorney. And just hand them that piece of paper and just sit there quietly with your hands on your steering wheel and wait for further commands. And you know, they're either going to arrest you or they're going to let you go. That's the only two things that are going to happen. Red burning fire.
Hey, red burning fire. But yeah, that's the one thing, you know. I mean, you know, if you're running 70 and a 55, you know you're running 70 and a 55. If you get pulled over, just, I mean,
It's not like it surprised you, you know?
Well, it starts to become an integrity thing on your own person. You know what I mean? Because if you're a good integrity person and you're not a liar, then why would you sit and try to lie to the cop?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you've got real integrity, you're gonna he's gonna be like, "You know why I pulled you over? Yep, I was running 70.
Yep. You know why I pulled you over? It's your job. I was speeding. Next question. You got me. What are we gonna do from here? You know what I mean? You don't try to deny it. You know, it's I was speeding. What do we do now?
Yeah, I mean that's
CB's daughter.
I mean that's all you do. I got pulled over one night. Well, it was early one morning. It was about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was speeding, and I was trying to get to. I was going to a fishing tournament, and I was actually about 10 minutes late, which the pullover made me even more late. And but you know, it was because it was so early in the morning, and it was on this back highway. When he pulled me over, I just rolled the windows down and stuck my hands out the window like this and just sit there and he come walking up and he kind of leaned over and he goes, "Why you got your hands out the window?" And I said, "Well," I said, I don't want you to be nervous and pull that gun on me." and I laughed, you know, and he kind of grinned, you know, and he goes, "You know, you were running pretty fast back there." And I said, "Yes, sir." And I told him what I was doing and, you know, all this. And I said, "You know, I know it's real early in the morning. I didn't want to make you nervous, you know." And I said, "I'm just going to a fishing tournament." And he still gave me a ticket, but he actually reduced the mileage down because I was I was pouring the coals to her. I was getting on down the road, and he dropped the speed limit down to about 10 over, and I was doing about 25 over.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
he
got it.
gave me a ticket. I still got a ticket, but he did reduce it down, and he told me, man, just slow down, and then he was like, good luck fishing, and I drove away. And at first I was upset. I was like, that son of a bitch, he could have not gave me a ticket, but and then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I was speeding. That's
Yeah.
his job.
I mean, I remember when I got my second Mustang. I had a 1990 Highway Patrol pursuit vehicle, and it was souped up. Man, that car would run. And I had just put a brand new set of shorty headers on it and GT40 heads. I just pulled it out of my garage. It was about, hell, it was 2 in the morning out in the country out in North Carolina on Highway 62 out in the middle of nowhere, about a quarter mile from Richard Petty's garage. That's where I used to live. And man, hell yeah, I got down on it. I'm all up in it. And when I blew by him, he was sitting off in the medium or off on the side of the road. And when I blew by him, I was probably running. There's a 55 zone, and I was doing 80 ballpark in it because I really didn't look down because I knew that whatnot. I was just looking to see if he saw me because the car was loud as shit. And he pulled out, and I was already pulling over before he ever hit his lights. I pulled over and waited on him. He come up behind me. I had my hands out the window. I'm like, hey, there's a weapon in the vehicle. And, he secured my weapon, the whole 9 yards. And he said, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, yes, sir, I do. I was hauling ass. And he started laughing. And he goes, is it funny? I said, no, I don't really think it's funny. I said, but I ain't no reason to lie. I mean, you were sitting right there. I blew by you. I mean, why would I argue? You pulled me over because I was hauling ass. And he goes, do you know how fast you were going? I'm like, honestly, I never looked down at the speedometer. I was looking back to see if you saw me. And when I saw you pull out, I knew you had me. So I'm not going to run. I just pulled over. And he said, well, why were you going so fast? And I said, God's honest truth, I just bought this car at the auction. I got it from the Highway Patrol, North Carolina Highway Patrol. He said, pop the hood. So I popped the hood, and he went up front, and there's a little metal badge on the underneath the hood that says this vehicle has been modified for pursuit by the North Carolina Department of Highway Patrol, yada, yada, yada. And he looked at the motor, and I said, I just put these new headers on here and those new GT40 heads. I said, honestly, I waited till 3 o'clock in the morning and come out here on the highway when there's hardly anybody ever out here. And I said, I just want to open it up and see if it was worth the money I put into it. And he goes, was it? I said, well, it depends on how expensive this ticket's going to be. And
Right.
the ticket, he wrote me the ticket, but he wrote it for, it was right about 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. And I went to court and I pled it down. I mean, it cost me a little bit of time in court costs. That was pretty much it. But if I would have tried to get out of it or lie or be a dick about it, I probably would have lost my license because I was probably 30 mile an hour over the speed limit. I was moving, but he,
Right.
I legit, I'm like, hey, I wanted to see if it was worth it. I came out here when nobody's out here, except for you, unfortunately, and you got me.
Well, I think after ain't it like 20 or 25 miles over, something like that, they can actually hit you for a reckless driving as well.
Yeah. I think when I was growing up, I think it's when, if you're 25 mile an hour over the speed limit, they can take your license right there on the spot. And your car gets hauled off. They take your license right there on the spot. I think, don't quote me on that. It's been years ago. It happened to a friend of mine in high school. The cop pulled him over in his 68 Camaro, and dude, he was running about 140. He was hauling ass, and they pulled him over, and the highway patrolman asked him, he said, how much do you want for the car? And he said, the highway patrolman said, how much do you want for the car? He goes, it's not for sale. He goes, no, you're not paying attention to me. How much do you want for the car? Because you're never going to drive it again. And they took his license. It was was bad. But he was an idiot, bro. He was running like 140 on the highway in a 55 zone. I mean, he was trying to get killed or kill somebody else in broad daylight.
Yeah, I used to have a Smoking the Bandit Trans Am, and I blew the motor up in it, and so I put a 425 Oldsmobile motor in it, come out of a 66 Starfire, and the motor had a bunch of work done to it, had headers and all that, high rise intake, big 4 barrel, and I had the transmission done on it, and had some stuff done to the rear end in it, and it would fly like it was legit fast. And I raced. I was all the time racing. I'm so lucky I didn't get caught, dude, because it had 120 on the speedometer, and then down there it said mph, miles per hour on it, right at the very bottom. I could blow past that 120 and get it down there between the M and the P, and it would sit there and do this and just rock.
Here's a true
And
story. I'm sorry.
my
Go ahead.
buddy, well, I was going to say my buddy had 140 on his speedometer, and we would bury it. We'd be racing each other, and he would bury 140, and like there's no telling how fast them cars would run, man. We were probably doing 150 at least. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was, God dang, man, stuff happens quick when you're going that fast too, man.
I had
Jesus.
a 1989 Mustang GT that was built. I got it from a guy. I had a stroker motor, and it was jacked up. And I remember I was dating a girl. I was in North Carolina, Greensboro, and she was in Memphis, Tennessee. And we had broken up and gotten back together. She was in Memphis. I was young at the time. I was like 26, 27. You get all emotional and shit. And I'm on the phone with her, and this is how irrational I was at the time. I'm in North Carolina. She's 12 hours away. We're on the phone arguing about something, and the bitch hung up on me. It's like 1 a.m, dude. I went out, got dressed, got in my car, and I was in Memphis, Tennessee 9 hours later. I got on I-40, and dude, when I remember I pulled over and got gas in Nashville, and I got on the highway in Nashville, and I got down on it, and I didn't let off that gas till I got to Memphis. Dude, my speedometer, it went around. I pegged it out for a while. When I let off the gas at the exit ramp, my needle spun all the way back around to zero, and it never moved again. I completely spun whatever works with the cable, however it works, I don't know. But my speedometer was pegged, and when it went back to zero, it never moved again.
Fish sticks, I had actually 3 of them as well. I had 2 of the actual Bandit Trans Ams, and then I had one that was the Firebird Trans Am, and they were all 77 and 70. One of them was a 77, and 2 of them were 78 models. And
I tell you, I know it's not most people's favorite cars, but I would love to have the Knight Rider 82 Trans Am.
Yeah.
This thing is so sleek and so pretty. Like, I would just love to have one of the Knight Rider Trans Ams.
Well, that one that I put that 425 Olds in, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, they had that motor. It was right, and all I know is I had one of them big flex fans on it. Remember the flex fans? Yeah. And that thing roared, man, it sounded like a freaking rocket, just and I had I had that shift kit in it, so when it would shift, it would burn, real hard and leave black marks. Oh, dude, that car was so freaking fast, man. It was insane, dude. I was dating this girl, and her parents lived down on the White River, way down in way down past Stuttgart in Gillette. And it was a pretty good drive, from North Little Rock. And there's a lot of back roads down there that, man, basically you're just driving on these long stretches of highways, and it's creeks and stuff. Man, I'd set that thing on about 100 down that one straight stretch, because it was forever, man, down this. Man, I'd set that sucker on about 100, and we'd just cruise, just down through there like it wasn't nothing.
Look at this. This is somebody that knows cars. Karen, I am very impressed. I actually got almost into a fist fight about this one topic in school, in college, mind you, like not long
They,
ago.
they did make
One
a
of my
64.
professors was talking about, it was a trivia question we were playing in class. When was the Ford Mustang? When did it start production? And the answer that they gave, the answer I gave was 1964 and a half. And the answer that she said was correct was 1965. And I raised my hand. I said, ma'am, you're incorrect. Mustang came out in 1964 and a half. No,
Yep.
it's 1965. I'm like, you're wrong. We got into a serious heated argument about this stuff. Now, the only thing that confuses me is, were there convertibles in 64 and a half, or were they all hardtops?
I think, ooh, that's a good one. I think they were all hard tops.
I don't know. I know they just found the original Bullitt Mustang in the junkyard in Mexico, one of the ones used in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. Found it in a junkyard in Mexico. It was beat up, but it was one of the original Bullitt Mustangs used in the movie. Yeah, I don't know if 64 and a half had convertibles. But if she said it, I'm going to take her at her word, because she knows it was 64 and a half. Shane Dixon says yes.
In fact, there are no.
I don't think Shelby got involved with Mustang until 1967.
No, 65. They made
Shelby
a Shelby. They made
Really?
a Shelby. They made a Shelby GT 350 in 65,
Wow.
and it was a fastback, and it was yeah. The 64 and a half convertibles had a 289. So yes, apparently.
Wow. Awesome.
This is from ClassicMustang.com.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. That would be a fuck, man. If you can find one of those, oh my god.
So the 64 and a half convertible had the 289, and the hardtops actually came with a 260.
Really?
35 convertibles were sold to dealerships and were sold to dealerships, and 195 hardtops were given out in dealer contest held in April of 1964.
So that was, so the 289, that must have been a convertible option, because the rest of them came with a straight six. Yeah.
Now there's something else right here that says, in fact, there are no 64 and a half Mustangs at all. The title was coined by enthusiasts. The 64 and a half Mustang is simply an early production unit without the refinements that came later. And another thing, Ford never built a production 64 and a half Mustang fastback.
No, I knew there weren't any fastbacks, but they came out in 64 and a half. So that's what it's called. I don't care what the numbers say.
There is actually no documentation for a 64 and a half through 66 Mustangs. Ford destroyed, what does that say? This is from Car Gurus. Ford destroyed the information you're currently looking for. No one really knows how many are out there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody really knows, because it was early production. They were technically slated to be 65 Mustangs, but they were built in 60. Like saying a premature baby. You were born premature, but even though you were born in November, you should have been born in January. So we're not going to count your birthday as November of 64. It's going to be January of 65. There's a good one, Chris Hyatt. He says, where'd it go? Damn it, I lost it.
I don't know, but Redneck Prepper is getting on to us already. He's not really getting on to us, but he's like,
Get some preps.
Okay. You have any question about preps?
Oldsmobile 442. Who in the chat knows what the 442 stands for in the Oldsmobile 442?
4-barrel. It had a, let's see. It was a,
I said chat. I know you know what it is. We got to see if anybody in the chat knows. I know you know what it is. Anybody in the chat know what 442 stands for?
sorry.
That's all right.
I got to pee anyway.
All right, this is the last stupid question, and then we'll go into preps, redneck. So as soon as, there you go, bug out, dude. Bug dude. It stands for 4-speed, 4-barrel dual exhaust. So it actually wasn't supposed to be the name of the car. It's how they described it, and then it caught on, so they just decided to badge it 442. Close, fish sticks. It's 4-speed, 4-barrel, dual exhaust. All right, so somebody hit me with a prepping question. Come on, redneck. Stroker, yeah, I wish. Damn, Shane, that's a lot of money you got going on right there. Well, I asked for prepping questions earlier, but nobody asked prepping questions. They asked car questions, so we started answering car questions. I'm going to respond to the chat. Don't be a hater. Oh, Prepper Tunes. What a way to get around it. Where do you see this one? Woods. Prepper Tunes says, what car would you want after an EMP? Technically, that's a prepper question. I'd like an MRAP or a really good up armored Humvee if it survived the EMP.
Do what now? What car would you want after an EMP?
A car prepper question. Homemade biofilter, redneck. I've seen plenty of videos doing it with, the rocks, the dirt, biochar, the grass, and all these different filtrations. I mean, it's better than nothing. I don't have any experience making them or using them. What I did in Panama is I just filtered the water through my t-shirt first, and then I threw in the water purification tablets and drank it on down.
Red Fire's burning. Do the EMP shields really work?
Won't know till we get an EMP.
And that's the honest truth. They in theory they do, but we were talking about this last night, I believe, or the night before. We were talking about the fact that it's not I mean, just like this building that I'm in, because it's wrapped in all that insulation that has the shielding on the outside, the silver shielding, and it's overlapped.
Mm-hmm.
If an EMP goes off, there might be some stuff that's surviving here, and some stuff might. I mean, that's the whole point. We just don't know.
Not until it happens, we won't know. Sandra, Ghost and Backwoods, does ghee taste like regular butter? I'm planning to make it, and I want to know what to expect. I've got about 15 pounds in the fridge. I'm gonna do my first batch of ghee this week. What I've been told, it has a kind of a. It's just something I heard. It has kind of almost like a nutty type of earthy flavor to it. But you can do everything with ghee that you do with butter. I'm mainly doing it just to cook and to have to use, because I'm going to be, a majority of my meat protein is going to be rabbit meat, and you've got to have fat if you're eating rabbit meat. But I know you can use it for everything you use butter for. It's just clarified.
So if you took some ghee and melted it and put it on your popcorn, could you have nutty flavored popcorn?
Stephanie Joe says she makes a
Uh-huh.
lot of ghee and it's awesome. Yeah, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about ghee. I know you can go to the grocery store and get you a little, probably a half pint of ghee, and it's like $8.
Hey,
It's
true American.
crazy.
Hey, true American Loretta. What's up,
How you
James Craig? James Craig said about that car after
car that runs,
EMP or whatever, a car that runs. Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Burning Fire said, yeah, it's got like a nutty, earthy flavor to it. It tastes more oily, but with a nutty flavor. It does taste really good. Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about ghee. And here's another thing too, Backwoods. I was at Wally World the other day, actually earlier today, and I was noticing their organic bone broth, which is the stuff that I make when I put up my chicken and stuff. Dude, that shit, it was like almost $6 a quart.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can make it for free in your house when you can and put up chicken. It's like $6 a quart. Clarified butter with crab. No, I have not, but I guarantee you it probably tastes awesome.
I ain't never had crabs, so I don't know nothing about that.
What? Oh my goodness, that's like oh yeah, crab meat's awesome. Or did you say you ain't never had crabs?
No, I tell you what, I used to live next door to this guy that had this Brett Weiser's meats, and he had all kinds of specialty meats and stuff, And one day he come home and he had all these Alaskan king crab legs, and he was like, "Dude, I'll trade you some of these king crab legs for some deer meat." And I was like, "Hell, okay." I mean, I'm killing deer all the time, and so I did. I traded him. Man, he gave me a whole damn big old, like the regular brown sack. The big brown sacks. It was full of king crab legs. Man, we ate on that stuff for a pretty good while. It was good.
Hey G, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, bone broth is expensive, and it's free. If you put up chicken, you can make your own, for free. A lot of people, when they can their chicken, they don't even do the broth. I do my broth with the chicken, and if I put up a case of chicken, I'm putting up a case. I'll get 7 good quarts of good dark thick bone broth, and then I'll get another 14 quarts of regular chicken broth that I use, to cook beans and stuff with. But yeah, at $6, man, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, when you're doing the ghee, and I'm going by Alaska Prepper's recipe for doing it. I love his videos. I love the way he does things. Alaska Prepper's like one of my heroes. But the way he showed how to do the ghee is exactly the same way I'm going to do it. And you really don't want to stir. Like, you stir it, but you don't stir the bottom. You don't want to touch the bottom of the pan, because that's where all the solids are settling to the bottom. You don't want to stir it up. And also, I'm going to do his recipe for waxing my. I went and bought probably 3 or 4 pounds of mild cheddar blocks, and I'm going to heat up the wax, and I'm going to wax my cheese and see how that preserves, because I gotta have cheese, man. I love cheese.
Stephanie Joe Roundtree, best way to cook or bake deer. I fry my deer. I mean, it tastes so good. I take and I cut it up into little pieces, and cut all the fat off of it, because you can't hardly chew deer fat, like, period.
Yeah.
It's weird. But I take and put all them little pieces into a baggie and squirt some French's mustard in there and shake it all around and get that real good and covered with French's mustard. And then I pour the flour in there, and that mustard will, you won't be able to tell it has mustard on it, but it will take away the gamey taste as well. And it's, everybody that's ever ate it will everybody that's ever ate it that I've cooked, is people that didn't like deer meat, people that didn't know what it was and ate it, they loved it. And people that don't like mustard even is eats that deer meat, and they're like, man, this is good. And then also sometimes I'll take a tenderloin, a backstrap, and take half of it, and I'll cut it into almost a butterfly, just cut a good slit in it and pack it with bacon bits, and then wrap it in bacon and put it on a grill, season it up real good and wrap it in bacon. Son, and you take and slice that off, and boy, man,
Stephanie, I do it a bunch of different ways. I love deer sausage. I love doing it the way Backwoods says to do it. I might have to try that, but I also like to take the neck roast, throw that in a crock pot with some cream of chicken, mushroom soup, and some vegetables, and let that cook low and slow all night long. And you got, that is some good roast. But I also like to bake my deer meat, and I usually like to do a shoulder. I'll take a whole shoulder on a deep-sided baking dish or cookie sheet. One's got about a 2-inch shoulder to it. And what I'll do is I'll lay out the aluminum foil, and then I'll get me couple of big old mandarin oranges, and I'll slice them about 1 inch thick. And I'll put I'll lay out my real thick bacon strips all across the pan, and then I'll put a layer of those oranges, and then I'll lay that shoulder on it, and then I'll cover it with another layer of oranges, and I'll wrap that bacon around and stick it in there, and then I'll wrap it up in that aluminum foil, and I'll cook it low and slow on about 250 for hours. And man, I reach in there and just grab that bone and shake it, and the meat just falls off, and you damn near got gravy. It's so good. Oh, delicious. A little bit of mayonnaise, and we're off to the races. Yes, I love mayonnaise with my deer meat. Yeah, Chris, bone broth is really good for you.
I hate cream corn. Ugh.
I love cream corn, man.
Ugh.
Love cream corn. I've never made pemmican before. I saw that question. I've seen videos on it, but I've never made it.
I've never made it before either, man. They say it lasts a really long time.
Yeah, forever. Like literally forever food is what I've been told. Yeah, preppers were in Army Alaska would be the general. I would have to agree with that. That man's got some knowledge. Oh my God. North Shore's in the house. What's going on, North Shore?
Yeah, he's already made a comment about your beard.
Yeah, I saw that. Just don't wax my beard. I won't wax the beard. Yeah, during the crock pot, that's the way to go. Turn it into a stew, man. Put some potatoes, onions, carrots in there, a little bit of celery. Ugh.
Well, I've got a beef stew in there that I made yesterday. It's so good.
A big old pot of rice. Shit, we're in business right there. Don't get no better than that. Oh, hell yeah, I got excited about it.
I put rice in my stew, and I also put some black-eyed peas in it, man. It's really good, dude. Like, it really tastes good.
I get creative when I cook shit. I'll be like, damn, I wonder what that tastes like. And I'll put some in there and just eat. Hell yeah, Ghost got excited about cooking deer, man. That's some good stuff. Don't get no better than that.
I need to thaw some deer out. I keep saying I'm going to, and I keep forgetting. I need to thaw some deer meat out. I got 4 or 5 deer in the freezer over there.
I got to finish my cages hopefully in the next couple of days because my rabbits will be old enough. They're going to start breeding first week of June. So,
you know You know how I cut my deer meat up?
With a knife.
No, I freeze it, get it pretty frozen, and I've got a bandsaw over there with one
Oh
of
yeah.
them damn with a uh, chef grade blade or whatever you call it, the food grade blade on it, and I just take and, bzz, 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 and cut it into steaks, and then you can just take and you know the thing comes apart real easy, man. You can clean it up real good, and it don't gum up if you freeze it first. It don't gum up in there, so it's real easy to clean. And yeah,
All right, Lord Larson, I'm canning chicken tomorrow. How do I get bone broth from it? Okay, what I do is I'll get the split breasts. That way the skin's still on it and the bones are still in it. But I also get all of those broiler chickens where it's a whole chicken. They come, sealed in those baggies. It's the complete whole chicken. It's the head, neck, and the guts and feet. And I actually have four, but I'll take a couple of big stock pots, fill it with water. I'll dice up a whole bunch of tomatoes, celery, and onions, put it in there, get it going to a good boil, and then I put all my chicken in there. I'll let it go for about 5 minutes at a good boil, and I pull all the chicken out, and then I'll pull meat that's been, barely cooked. All left, the bones, the skin, the gristle, everything else goes back into the stock pot with those vegetables. I put a lid on it, and I let it simmer for several hours. I let it simmer while I'm canning the chicken. Now the chicken, once I ripped all the meat off the bones, I'll put that in my jars, and then I add water to it. Water from my stock pot. I just add regular fresh water from the Berkey because the chicken isn't all the way cooked, so it's going to make its own chicken broth while it's in the pressure cooker. I fill it up, seal them, put them in the pressure cooker, and rock and roll. And I usually get at least 2 loads, at least 14 quarts out. And once it's done, then I process the bone broth. And the bone broth is that first batch you get from all the bones that's been simmering for 6 hours while you did 2 loads of chicken. And then I'll do a load of the bone broth, and every time you add more water to the pot, it dilutes it down a little bit. The only difference in bone broth and chicken broth, bone broth is like the first batch. It's like super, super dark, awesome. But every time you add water, like I'll dip it all out, and I'll get a couple of loads of bone broth, and then I'll just be like, shit. I'll add some more water to the pot, get a good boil going again, and I'll get another load or 2 loads out of what's in there. It's diluted down a little bit, but it's still chicken broth. It's still actually really, really good chicken broth. But that's the way I do the bone broth. I do the same way with my ham bones. I do the same way with any kind of beef bones that you want to make your beef broth with. And that's like, any kind of bones from steaks or anything. Just throw it in there and let it rock and roll. But that's how I do it. But
Redneck Prepper, he used a wiring harness out of a Chevrolet vehicle. That's why his internet cuts on and off all the time. It don't run right.
I don't know why my internet's acting stupid, man. I'm hardwired with the T6 cable. It's crazy.
Oh.
Guys in Jersey don't know how to cook. Yeah, unless it's pizza. They can cook pizza pretty good.
If the SHTF and your only cooking means method is firewood, what are your plans? I'm gonna cook with firewood.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what you're getting at, Stephanie.
my plans is my cast iron's going to get a workout. I'm cooking. I am cooking on the fire.
Yeah, and I've got my wood burning stove I've got over here for my shop building to heat my shop building. It has it comes and then it comes down again, but I can actually put some pans on top of it. There's room there.
Oh, yeah. Growing up, that's how we did it.
Yeah.
There were lots of times my mama would just cook on the wood stove instead of firing up or instead of using the oven.
Yeah, because I mean, utensils, yes, cast iron, of course, setup. Well, like I said, I'll probably a lot of times be cooking off my stove in there, but I've actually got a couple of grills that I bought for SHTF, and I mean, it's got the grates on them and everything, and I'll throw some sticks in the bottom of it and fire up some, put a good fire on, and I'll cook. I can just cook right on the grate if I want to kind of grill like, or I can, put pots and pans on top of it.
That's the great thing about a cast iron Dutch oven, man. Put the lid on and sit that sumbitch right down in the fire. It ain't gonna hurt it, not one bit. Enamel coated cast iron Dutch oven. I've never seen an enamel coated cast iron Dutch oven.
I've never either myself.
I never even heard of such a thing.
Oh yeah, CB's daughter said you can also put firewood in a standard barbecue grill. I didn't see you say that, but yeah, I've got a buddy that's the only way he grills. He don't put charcoals in his grill. He keeps wood cut, and that's what he does. That's how he grills his food. With firewood.
I mean, it actually makes sense. It probably burns longer than charcoal, and and depending on what kind of wood you're doing, you're seasoning the meat while you're cooking it.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of different wood and stuff. Cherry wood and stuff like that, and
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about no ceramic coated. I've never heard of one.
There's no reason to coat cast iron. It's nonstick. As long as you take care of your cast iron, it's nonstick. There's no reason for a coating to be on it.
Cast iron.
Angela, I have been, and I'm knocking on wood, I have been using cast iron on a glass top for years, and I have been using my pressure canner on a glass top for years, and I've never had any issues. Knock on wood. I'm just really delicate. I don't slide it. I pick everything up on the glass top. I don't slide it. I don't want to put any minute scratches because that would make for a weak spot.
Yeah, I don't. We have a natural gas, so we've got the what do you call them, the grates or whatever up there. So I don't know anything about the glass top. I think I had a glass top when I lived in an apartment when I was like 19 years old or 20 years old. I had an apartment for a little bit, and it was furnished and it had a glass top, but back then I was eating out a lot, so I didn't.
I mean, as long as you don't slide the stuff on there, you just pick it straight up and don't slide it where it's going to scratch, you shouldn't have an issue. At least I haven't had an issue. Knock on wood.
Small
fire coated cast iron that was blue on the outside. That's I don't even understand why somebody would do that, other than to just make it look pretty. I mean, it's still cast iron. It's still going to work as long as your cooking surface is cast iron. Maybe it was just to make it look pretty.
With the enamel. Says if it's not cast iron, I have no clue what it is. It's really heavy like cast iron, but the inside is coated with an enamel. I've never heard of it. I haven't.
Yeah, there's no reason to coat the inside of a cast iron pan because cast iron, the correct cast iron, if you treat it the right way, is non-stick. It's the best cooking surface you can have.
Yeah, I love my cast iron stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
I would. Stupid thing, man. It's got some kind of weird reflection on it, man. It's freaking me out. I can see Y'all leave me alone. I'm cleaning my camera.
Okay, Red Morning Fires is talking. It's a ceramic coated cast iron. Now, if it's just on the outside, I could see that for, appearance wise. It doesn't. I don't know how it affects. Maybe it distributes the heat more evenly on the outside, but not the inside. I would think that the inside would stay cast iron because there's really no reason to treat it. But I could maybe see an advantage to having it ceramic coated on the outside, on the actual where the fire, does its work, because maybe it would distribute the heat a little bit more evenly, being that it's ceramic. But I don't know. It's all new to me.
Grandma Merkel's saying it's a Cajun style cook pot. You make tomato foods in it.
Huh.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's
me.
Yeah, everything. I mean, I've always had natural gas or propane, one of the two where I've lived. So I've never had an electric stove or electric water heater. In fact, I've always had natural gas. North Shore saying it's like an insert for a crock pot, but made a bit different.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with it. I mean, I've made it this long in my life without ever using it. It's probably not a road that I'm going to go down. I'm just cool with cast iron.
Yeah, Leslie, that's all you got to do is just, everybody talks about all this different ways of doing cast iron, cleaning it and stuff. The way I was taught, the cast iron stuff I got, it was my great grandmother's, and it was passed down to my grandmother, to my mom, and then to me. And the way I was taught was to put some water in it and set it on the stove and let it boil, and then clean it like that. Wipe it out real good, and then put some more water in there and let it boil down till the water's gone to dry it. And then while it's still hot, pour a little bit of just regular cooking oil is all we've ever done, and just wipe it down real good with that cooking oil. And that's sometimes I sprinkle a little seasoning in mine, with that oil, and wipe it down and let it, because when it's hot, and then let it cool down with that oil in it. And I've never had any problems. Mine are good and clean. I don't have any sticking problems or anything. So that's the way I've always done it.
I ain't never, not once, had a sticking issue with cast iron. It's the best thing to make cornbread in. Ghost Prepper, teach folks how to set up a fire pit. I mean, what kind of a fire pit? Are we talking
for cooking?
Like a fire pit in the backyard or a cooking pit? I mean, because if I'm doing it, like, honestly, with my preps, the way they're set up, all my preps, or a majority of my preps, are already cooked and canned. All I'm gonna need over that fire is, maybe a Dutch oven hanging from a tripod, and I'm gonna dump the contents of that jar in there and just heat them up.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, a fire pit. I mean, you could just take some rocks from around the area and put them in a circle, and take your barbecue grill and take the grate out of it and stick it over the top.
Yeah.
Cooking pit to avoid detection. That's going to be.
Oh, you're talking about a Dakota fire hole?
Yeah. That's going to be that. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called, but that's that like.
Those are pretty neat. Those are pretty neat. They do help a lot. But here's the deal. I'll be able to smell your fire a long time before I see your smoke. So You're kind of defeating the purpose. If it's me, that's what I'm saying. In a true grid down SHTF scenario, I'm not starting a fire I'm eating my food cold. It's already cooked. It's already in the jars. It's edible. It's just cold. It's still good. But the nutritional value is going to be the exact same if I eat it cold versus hot. So you just got to suck it up. Yeah, I mean the Dakota fire pit. It's a cool little technique. It's pretty neat if you want to go through all that. Um, now if you're just doing it for a heat source, in the wintertime or something like that, I can see the value in it, especially at nighttime. But like to cook something on and you're trying to be stealthy, you're defeating the purpose because I'll smell it long before I see the smoke.
Well, and you're going to smell the food too, man. I mean, how many of you seriously have been driving down the road and sometimes out in the middle of nowhere and be like, damn, I smell bacon and eggs, and it's a farmhouse right down the road, and they're cooking and you can smell that shit forever, I mean, cooking food, you can smell it for a ways.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's, that's that's one of the reasons they when you're up where grizzlies and stuff are, they tell you to hang your food in a tree and eat it cold as you get it on a fire and start cooking it. And man, that smell goes out and they can smell it.
And you think we have good noses, man. The motherfuckers in the woods can smell shit for miles and miles. Like a shark in the water, man. Hello from Australia, Rebecca Shepherd. Welcome.
Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? Yeah, that cooking the food, I mean, if it's a true SHTF, if you're cooking your food, you're taking a chance. I don't, it doesn't matter what kind of way you're doing it. Yes, Sandra, especially if you're hungry, yes.
Invest the time now in cooking your food now and canning it where you can, so you don't have to cross that bridge.
I'm in SHTF. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna cook and I'm gonna use the people that show up as a wall. I'm gonna pile them up there out there like cordwood and use them for a wall. Make people look over and be like, yeah, I'm not going over there.
Yep, that is true.
I roll my eyes over these air fryers and other gadgets. Yeah, Stephanie, we bought one of them air fryers and they're good for a couple of things, but like French fries, for instance, French fries just don't taste right in them. We don't use ours very often anymore.
Man, they can hard boil the shit out of some eggs really quick.
Yeah.
They're really good for making hard boiled eggs.
Yeah, boiled eggs and actually they do cook them chicken tenders pretty decently.
Yeah. And people are using them to pressure can food, believe it or not.
Really?
Not the air fryer, but the Instapot.
Huh.
They're actually pressure canning food in them because that's how it works so fast, by pressure. I think you can only do like 1 or 2 jars at a time, but yeah.
But I'm gonna have to get off here in a minute.
Yeah, me too. We already hit the 2-hour mark. I'm getting kind of tired.
Well, I got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah, you got to go do some weed eating.
Yep. All
right, we can go ahead and wrap it up. It's been 2 hours, man. I'm getting a little tired myself. I might mess around for a little while, give me a little bit of something to eat, and get some sleep. I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat. This is kind of an impromptu live stream. I didn't have nothing better to do, and Prepper Tribe got me all jacked up talking about the pipeline. So I was like, hell, why not? Let's just go live and see what happens. But I want to thank everybody for coming in here. I want to thank Backwoods for popping in here with us. And you guys, and if you didn't catch my post that I put up on my community thing, now that I unlocked that key, we backed up the cutoff deadline for the scenarios to Monday or today at midnight. So you got until midnight tonight to submit your scenarios, and then your name goes in the hat for each scenario you submit. If you submit 3, your name goes in 3 times. If you submit 1, it goes in 1 time. I'm going to do a drawing live on the air Tuesday on our WWWD, What Would We Do live stream, and pull a winner out for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you hadn't sent in a scenario, send it in. wwgdquestions@gmail.
Yeah, and I wanted to tell everybody good night, and y'all have a blessed night. I hope y'all have a wonderful day tomorrow. I know it's Monday, but I hope Monday goes real good for y'all. And that's all I got, except for remember, when you prepare your mind properly, all else will fall into place.
Y'all have a good night. We'll see you later.
Love you guys. Peace out.
Good night.